every single session. My name is Juavette Johansen. I am one of the co-founders of Black Economic Empowerment. And as I mentioned you guys on last Tuesday, we got together, 5 of us, for a mission. And the mission was to increase Black wealth. As I said on Tuesday, you guys, there is a study going around that says if something does not change by 2053, Black wealth will be zero. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that is totally unacceptable. And this is why, you guys, we have B. And as it says, you guys, this is not just, a series of sessions, you guys. This is a movement. This is a movement. You guys, we are all here to make a change. And we want that you guys to move with us in this movement. As I was coming on, a family member that I have not seen in I don't know how long, hi Matt, sent me in the chat room. I was like, oh my God, there's Matt. And I was looking at you, I was like, I know him. He's a relative. You guys, this is a movement. I love that. This is a movement, you guys. So once again, we are here to close the gap of Black wealth. And we are here to give you guys resources to help us all do that. Okay. Once you guys join us, you guys, you are now part of the B family. Okay. So once again, here are our co-founders. I am Juavette Johansen. My background is actually real estate. I'm a real estate broker owner for the past 18 years. I've been a life insurance living benefit specialist for the past 10 years. Then we have Miss Jill Johnson, who is our resident, you guys, serial entrepreneur. She has been a businesswoman her whole life. She's been a businesswoman, and she is our living benefits coordinator. Then we have in red, you guys, Miss Helena J Conley. Do not forget the J. Okay, she is our insurance strategist, you guys, and her background is actually education. She has a master's in mathematics and has been a teacher with LA School District for, gosh, I don't know how many years, a lot of years. But now, you guys, she is teaching financial literacy all over, nationwide. Okay. Then we have, next on the list, we have Miss Anita Ferns, who you guys will hear from today. And her background is actually, guys, software engineer. Software engineer, you guys. But once again, she is part of our movement, you guys, for financial literacy. Then we have the wonderful Miss Lisa McCombs, who was also, you guys, been in the insurance industry for over 30 years. And in fact, she has her own schools where she helps people to become insurance agents. So once again, you guys, all 5 of us got together and said, it's time to make a change. And that's why we're here, you guys. That's why we're here. And I want to give you guys a special shout out. Oh, okay, let's go back to our speakers. We started off, you guys, the first day of our sessions with Mr. Steve Peterson. And he went over, you guys, how to invest in commercial property and multi-unit, right? You guys, one way to build wealth is, of course, through real estate. Buying your house, you guys, that's just step 1, okay? We want you guys to go beyond that, right? You guys, we want you guys to build wealth for the next generation and the next generation, okay? So you guys, we need to invest in real estate. Then we had Nakia Carter, who came on and told us how to qualify to get a house, right? What do we need to have in order for us to be in position to even buy property? Then last Tuesday, we had Mr. Chris Horton, who came on and talked about his project, guys, for Black entrepreneurs. There is $100 million set aside, you guys, by the Small Business Development Center for Black entrepreneurs. Everybody needs to sign up, you guys. I already signed up, and you guys, they already called me for my appointment. Okay, you guys, they are serious, you guys, about helping us make sure, you guys, that, you guys, they want to build Black entrepreneurs. So it doesn't matter, you guys, if you have a business that's been wild for a long time, or if you're just starting, you can apply for this program. Okay. And today, Ms. Anita Ferns, you guys, we're going to wrap it up with Black Wall Street. Once again, you need to understand about money. So today we're going to talk about that. But I want to give you guys a shout out also, you guys, to our sponsors, because we have had, you guys, some amazing organizations that, really help us, you guys, bring people to our movement. First, ARPB, Associated Real Estate Property Brokers Women's Council, which I am a member of, by the way. Shout out to our president, Ms. Rhea Cotton. And you guys, ARPB, you guys, a matter of fact, NARAP as a whole, it's their mission to increase Black home ownership. In fact, you guys, they have a mission, it's called 2 and 5. In 5 years, they want to put 2 million African Americans into homes. Okay, you guys, that's their movement. So, you guys, we appreciate other organizations, you guys supporting our movement as well, because it all goes together. We have the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce, President Kathy Adams, you guys, who, whenever we do any event, you guys, she is right there behind us, being that resource to let the community know that we are here to educate and empower them. And of course, Chris Horton, you guys, Small Business Development Center, you guys, once again, they are a resource to the community for free. You guys, it's free. Take advantage. Okay. So once again, thank you to all of our sponsors. Thanks to all of you for coming, you guys, every single session and being here with us. And if you were here for all 4 sessions, we're gonna have a special raffle. Okay. Somebody out there, I don't know who, is gonna get a very nice prize. Okay. So also, you guys, if you missed any of the sessions you guys before, we will send everybody a copy of all 4 sessions. Okay, just make sure that you guys register, and we will send out to you guys all 4 sessions. Okay, we will also be sending out to everybody a survey. Please complete the survey and send it back. You know what, Jill? We ought to make that part of the prize, Helena. If they want that prize, you guys send back the survey. I think I'm going to add that in there as a matter of fact. So attend all 4 sessions, and I need a survey back from you, okay? So everybody send in a survey, As a matter of fact, maybe we'll give one more prize, but the surveys must be in, okay? So we're going to move you guys right along to our guest speaker today. I am so excited to have her come, you guys, because we need to understand our history as people, okay? Where we come from, you guys. You guys, we are some powerful, powerful people, aren't we? Aren't we, Aaron? We are some powerful, powerful people. And our next speaker, who is one of our co-founders, is going to take you through the history of Black Wall Street, okay? So please give a warm welcome to our co-founder, Miss Anita Ferns. Welcome, Anita.
All righty. Thank you, Miss Juavette. I am so over the top excited. We have been planning and pulling together, and we call us the Fabulous 5, women that are founders. This is a subject very near and dear to my heart because my family is from this hometown, my mom and my dad. And there's Auntie Virginia. Okay, so what we're talking about today, Black Wall Street, that's where my roots are. So if you ever kind of wonder, Anita sounds a little country, that's what it is, my Oklahoma accent. So I'm one, just removed. So, my dad's a proud graduate of Langston University there in Oklahoma. And then my mom, she went too, but he nabbed her and she got married before she graduated. But just really, really, really excited about this subject because guess what? This is American history that was not ever recorded in our history books, at least not mine. In my high school history, nor in my college did I hear about this. I kind of heard it was word of mouth passed down, but it's a very critical part of our history because if you all know, what did they say? If you don't know your history, you are what? Somebody unmute and tell me.
Bound to repeat it.
You're bound to repeat it. Thank you, Dr. Hathaway. That is absolutely true. So we're all in the same boat when it comes to this. So I did a little bit more study and I found out that it was very, the information I found was very compelling, but at the same time, kind of sad, but it's like you have to know your history. But guess what this year is, guys? Do you know Auntie Virginia?
This is, yes, I do know this is a special year commemorating the 2000, the 100th anniversary of the massacre in Tulsa.
Yes, this
Right,
is
Lynetta?
100-year anniversary,
Thank you.
100-year anniversary this year. So this is a very auspicious occasion, guys. So you're going to hear some really good information about your history and how that can propel you forward today. So Black Wall Street. So where was it? So it's part of our history 100 years ago in 1921 in the state of Oklahoma, the city of Tulsa, Oklahoma. It started on May 31st. So let me give you a little background first. So during the Reconstruction period of 1870, there were a lot of, after the Civil War, a lot of townships across the United States that, because of segregation, they built up these commerces that were Black owned, they were self-sufficient, right? And they held a lot of different parts of our life and business, including homes and very prestigious, everything we needed to survive in a community. So one of these more notable communities was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So there were more than 100 across the United States, but this one was so prosperous, they were coined Black Wall Street. So this community, it had dentists. We had a taxi service with a fleet of Model Ts. There was a hospital there. They had schools. That was the neighborhoods. So we had, a lot of progress, a lot of prosperity. There was a theater there. So we had the arts there too, as well. And we also had early day Walmart. You'll see pictures in a little bit. So very prominent. It was in a exclusively Black township, and it was called Greenwood Avenue. It was around that area, but it spanned 35 blocks in total. Isn't that like amazing? 35 blocks. So like I said, there was photography studios, anything that you could need and want, because guess what? In that time, the Black dollar circulated at least 3 to 5 times before it left the community, because everything we needed stayed right there. So it was around the time when the African Americans were returning from the war, right? So they had high hopes of, a life of freedom and prosperity, and end of wartime meant a time of celebration. So that was at the same time that was booming across the United States, there was something else that was happening, and it was called the systematic mob movement and syndrome. There was a group of people who did not like the prosperity and the prosperous situations that were occurring across the United States. So they went from state to state to basically destroy them, right? So this was a particular interest to this area because during that time, they had not had in that city lynchings, not in that city. So they had a special mission to kind of bring some fear to that area there. So it was their turn, and this mob arrived on the scenes. And what they did was they created a situation where it was kind of classic where in this elevator, it was alluded or that this young Black man had whistled at a young white woman. So the scene was that he was fleeing from the scene and she was screaming. She had no tears in her clothes. She had no bruises, no nothing. But this young man, 19 years old, was arrested and put in jail. So the word was already out on the street that there was going to be a lynching, right? So what happened was these World War I veterans, they were African American, they were armed, and they were already prepared to defend their city. So what they did was the mob moved down to the courthouse, and so did the armed veterans. The mob, which were white mob, they were not armed. So what happened was one of the gentlemen approached an armed African-American vet and said, "Hey, nigger, what are you doing with that gun?" So he said, I am protecting our city. And he said, "What do you do?" He said, "I'm prepared." He said, I'll use it if I have to. So a struggle broke out. And the one that approached him, he was murdered, the white man. So then you know what happened, all hell broke loose. So they were unarmed, but then they went on a mayhem, and they raided all of the the ammunition stores and they broke them down, they looted them, and now they're armed. So they came and they went block after block after block. But guess what? The vets knew how to fight. So they were actually fighting for their blocks not to be overtaken, and they were actually prevailing. But then guess what happened? They called in the National Guard, right, for assistance. And also they had helicopters and they dropped bombs. So that was kind of they couldn't fight the bombs or the helicopters. So what they did was they went block by block. They went to each door. They looted the homes. It was over 1,300 homes that were looted. They took cash, jewelry, furniture, and then they set them all afire. So that is what happened. It happened over a 2-day period. And the next, you're going to see what it looked like before and after. So once we get to the end of this, I kind of want to tell you, okay, what's the lesson in that for us? What is the lesson? So number one, we were independent, right? We were entrepreneurs. We were self-sufficient. And you have to know that whenever that happens, there is a lot of fear that comes on people, right? So you got to ask yourself, are you bringing fear to people today because of what you own? You know what I mean? And what you possess and yourself and independence. So let's kind of see what it looked like back there in Greenwood area. And here's a little bit of trivia for you. Auntie, you can't answer this one, but one very popular R&B band that came from that area. And they named themselves, who knows this trivia right here? What's their name?
The
Gap Band. That's right, Mr. Aaron Hall. He's already in the music industry right there. So it was, what's the streets? Who knows the streets?
Greenwood, Archer, and Pine.
That's right, Greenwood, Archer.
My daddy is Auntie's brother, Tulsa,
That's
Oklahoma.
Right. Helena got roots from Oklahoma, so her dad's from Oklahoma. So yes, that was the Gap Band. So that was their statement in their name for their band. So they were from that area. So let's bring up the slides so we can kind of see what happened.
Do you want me to bring them up, Anita?
Yes, whoever. Yes, Janice.
Please, Janice.
Okay, all right, got it.
Thank you. So, just kind of keep in mind that your economic independence is both liberating as a threat. So, so even though it was called Black Wall Street, what it turned into.
You want the other ones first?
Let's see, which one is this? Yeah, the other one's first, Janice. Yes. Thank you. So it's a 100-year anniversary, economic independence. This was no help from the government as well, guys. And you got to kind of ask yourself, how come this wasn't in the history books? How come it wasn't in the history books, right? Greenwood, Archer, and Pine.
Okay, coming in a second.
Okay, all righty. Thank you. So 100th year anniversary, one of the initiatives that are already out there, you guys can read about it, is that they want to revitalize the mindset that was with the people of this day. What type of mindset did they have? They were both segregated, but at the same time, it was self-sufficiency. All righty. I love the Gap Band, as a matter of fact.
I was about to bust out a song real quick.
Okay. I ain't mad at you. Okay, so here is Black Wall Street. It is the 100-year anniversary. So it was from 1921 to 2021. And then you see right there, you must know your history or you're bound to repeat it, right? And sadly enough, you're going to see some similarities. You guys see what time period this was, and you can look back in history and see how many times this has already repeated itself. Let's go next. All righty, so here is Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Look at that there. So they had, this is all Black people, guys. This is not, a scene out of My Mom Loves TCM Classic. I hate it, but those are all white people. This is Black people here. So we own this township here. It was we had, like I said, the movie theaters, they had the schools, they had the shoe shine shop, they had the cleaners. They didn't have dry cleaners there, but they had all of the commerce, everything we needed, the hospitals and everything, the dentists. So that's our prosperous They had their own bus system there. You see that? Let's go next. All righty. So in all, guys, it was 600 businesses, 600, 21 churches. You see the mass, how huge this was. 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, not just one, 6 private airplanes. You guys hear that? You probably didn't think they had airplanes back then, but yes, 6 private airplanes, 1 hospital, 1 bank. So that means we had our own banking system, and it had its own school system. And most of this was because of Jim Crow laws, and we could not go to school with them, but we prospered anyway, right? Let's go next. All righty, so we had booming commerce. So you see pride of Oklahoma farmers. So it was basically a farm community. I remember when we spent some summers in Oklahoma with my grandparents, they had a plot where they farmed. They had the best vegetables, delicious peaches, pecans, all of that going. So, you see pride of Oklahoma. All right, next street. So there's the Main Street business. You guys see how prosperous they have real estate. Juavette Johansen, do you see that? Right there, metals, investment. We invested, guys. You see the insurance right there? There was insurance as well. They had some hotels, so it was amazing. Let's go next. All right, so daily life in the early 1900s, Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? No, it's not in our history books, guys. It's very peculiar, but it's not there. You see there? Very prosperous, right? Let's go next. All right, so that's one of many schools in the area. So we did believe in education. So let's go next. Very important part. And there it is. There's our rapid transit system, right? You guys, it's kind of funny. You think other people invented that. So we had there's a shoe shop there, right? They had their own attorneys. Let's go next. All righty, so you see right there, Office of General Counsel. There's the savings and loan in the bank right there. And all those sophisticated people sitting there in the front, business owners. Let's go. All right, so we had tires, shoes, distribution center, right? I think I looked this up, so I called this the early Walmart. So they had just about everything you would need in the city there. So amazing. All right, let's go next. All righty, there's a shoe repair shop. So guess what, guys? There was enough for everybody, enough to do, right? Enough to service. So we were both service providers and then essential. As far as the groceries and everything, they had the hospital. Let's go next. All righty, there's a Dreamland Theater. So we had theater arts there, right? So it's just like we covered every part of our community. Let's go next. Amazing. There were 2 theaters. All righty, guys. So this was the beginning after the incident that happened down at the courthouse. So actually it started on the 31st of May, right? So what they did was, guess what, guys? They bound up the strong men first. You see any women there? They bound them all up because they were fighting them back, right? These were obviously not the vets. These were just harmless citizens there, right? So they rounded them up. They said they were on their way to the convention hall, right? They captured them and they were moving them down. So they declared martial law. Does anybody know what martial law is?
That's when the government comes and take over the town or city with the police and National Guard, and they declare like a curfew.
Exactly. That's part of it. That's part of it. But there's something else very, very, I think it's just disturbing about martial law. Who else knows about that?
The Constitution is like gone at that point.
What happened?
It overrides the Constitution.
Yes. One of the things that is martial law is like anybody who's already in control, which in this case was, the white supremacists, anybody who had, control of the area, which was the white people. If you had a gun, now you're empowered to be the police. So that's what martial law is. So they had weapons. So now they were rounding the people up, right? All right, let's go next. All right, so this is what happened. Once they went block by block and they raided the homes, they looted them and they caught them all on fire. So they were fighting back, like I said, the vets, right? But then they could not withstand the bombs being dropped, right? From the aircraft. and the National Guard, right, that was called out against them. They also restrained help from coming to rescue the residents there. They lived there. They were not perpetuating any other neighborhood. This is where they live. So they had these outside mob. We called them American terrorists, right? The original, the OG terrorists. They came in, and you see how big this area was. Let's go next. All right. So deliberate destruction of all the building structures, of all the businesses, and it doesn't stop there. Let's go. Let's see what it looks like afterwards. All right, you see that? There's a Dream Theater. It's all gutted. They burned it to the ground, including the residents. First, I thought it was just the businesses, but they took the residents too. So it left thousands of people homeless. Let's go next. All right, see, the devastation doesn't stop. It just keeps, rolling forward. So they completely gutted the place. There were hundreds of people. I should have pulled the magazine, actually the newspaper article the day after. Let's go next. So once they did this, you guys see this? This is horrible, isn't it? This is a postcard. So once they did this, they took pictures and they circulated this to other cities across, our nation, right? And then they also took, I know you guys heard this before, they took as souvenirs parts of their body, right? So they can just keep it as a souvenir. All righty, let's go next. So there's 35 blocks that went up in flames, complete ruin. So now let's go next. Okay, so we're kind of recapping 600 businesses, 21 churches, restaurants, grocery stores. Yep, and you know what? It was not just here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. This just happened to be one of the more prosperous, but all the townships that were established across the United States were systematically destroyed just like this. So you have to kind of think, what were they really trying to destroy, right? Our will to rebuild. So after all this was over, what happened was they did have insurance, but the insurance companies wouldn't pay out. And they declared, because guess what? They were determined to rebuild. So you know what they did? They declared, what do you call it? Eminent domain, right? So they prohibited them to rebuild the area. Let's go. All righty, so that is our Black Wall Street. So you may want to ask yourself, why did somebody go through all this length to cause such ruin? I mean, don't they want us to be able to take care of ourselves, right? So part of the message here is the reason why we know there's something strange and there's something not right, right? They're just like, why can't you guys pull up yourself by your own bootstraps and get your own businesses? And we don't have this part in our history book to know that we actually did this before. We did do this, right? So, but what's the difference now and then? We were dependent on each other, right? That's one big difference. We had to keep our dollars in so we could grow strong. The other thing is there was probably something that we didn't know about the inheritance. How do you rebuild after ruins? How do you rebuild? We have a key here on how you rebuild. And that key is, I'm going to use a similar group of people. We ask ourselves in our business that we're in, or in our industry, we ask ourselves, how did a particular group of people that were basically, the same thing happened, probably on a longer period of time, the Holocaust, right? This was called the biggest Black massacre in American history, the largest. There were over 300 people murdered and unaccounted for after this thing was over. They did mass graves, right? And the next day, the newspaper said a riot broke out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and there were 2 white men killed. That was all that was reported. And they never recorded it anyplace else. Did you guys see this in your history book when you were coming up? So this is, it's noted, if you go on YouTube, it's noted as the worst race motivated massacre in American history. Now, we've had some pretty horrific things, but this is kind of recognized as the worst. So what we know is there is power in us coming together and creating this type of commerce. There is power in us in land ownership. That's why we had our first session, multiple units, because guess what, guys? We are already in real estate. If you're living in a house, you're in real estate already. So you got to live somewhere. So you might as well be the owner, right? And then in your own personal residence, you know, ownership is where the power is. That's why we brought that to you. And then our third session was it was on entrepreneurship, specifically earmarked for African Americans. So guys, that is our boost there. There's one other thing here though. So African Americans, we're very peculiar people in that we do earn money. We do have stuff, but what do we do with it? Right? Somebody recently told us that, you know, during the Watts riot, you know who was selling to us in Watts during that time period? Ryan, were you going to say something? You know who was selling to the Blacks in the neighborhood?
Was it the Koreans?
Nope, not in the Watts riot. They came
Oh, the
afterward.
Watts riot. Okay,
Yeah,
the
Watts.
Watts riot.
It was actually Jewish merchants. They were the ones selling. And I had a instructor in college. I had a Black Studies class, and you know what he told me? He said, those Jewish business owners, they paid us to burn down their businesses during the Watts riot. And you know why? So they could collect on the insurance and never come back. And then the people that moved in after that is correct, Mr. Ryan. It was the Koreans, because they, the Jewish people coined us, they are liquid gold, the Black people, because whatever money you give them, they'll give it right back to you. Let's go next. So here is something that we really need to arm ourselves with, and that is one of the biggest missions of B, the founders of B. We are in the financial industry for a reason, because if you don't know about what to do with your money, and you don't know what your biggest asset is, and you don't know that you have other enemies out there for your money, then you're never going to be able to rise above. And if you don't know it, how are you going to pass it down to the next generation? How are you going to do that? So let's go next. So this is Be the Movement. We're having more series after this, guys. Because guess what? Because we're so multifaceted and multi-talented, guess what? This is not all we know. We're endless. We have thoughts. We have other ideas, and we're going to bring them to you through this avenue. So Be the Mission is Black economic empowerment. Guess who that is, guys? It's you. You are the resource. So if you want to make a change in our community, then you have to be in the industry to change it. You have to be where the money is. That's what we come to realize. It's called entrepreneurship. It's called multiple streams of income. Let's go next. All righty. So what we know is, and what we want to pass along, so this gets spread like wildfire. It gets spread like popcorn, right? If you know this, then this is what's going to help propel you forward and empower you so you can't be overtaken, right? So here's 4 steps. So we'll go through them really quickly. Step number 1 is, it's manage your money wisely. Now we hear this kind of stuff, but I don't think we really realize how important it is for us, and how very important it is, and to realize that our biggest asset is what? Anybody know what our biggest asset is?
Us, me.
It's me, and what else? What else about us?
Our money.
Our ability to make money.
Exactly. Exactly. And then the other thing we must know is we can earn money, but what are we doing with it, right? So manage your money wisely, and always remember this one rule: pay yourself first. If you're last in line, it's not going to be anything left for you. So pay yourself first. The Richest Man in Babylon, it's a book that you guys should all get. Says to pay yourself at least 10%. Let's go next. All righty. Protect your income and your family. So have a colleague of mine who I'm very proud of, because if you hang around this industry and you kind of get your mindset together and change, She and her husband put their mind together, they put their plan in place, and they were able to save over $50,000 last year. Now, who does that? You guys know too many people that do that? Well, you know, I got this job, I got 5 jobs, and I save 50,000. No, if you got 5 jobs, you're gonna pay a lot of it in taxes. That's what's gonna happen to you. So the mindset that we develop will be something that will carry us and also the next generation. So protect your income and your family. That just means that you have to realize the most important asset again is you. So, and your ability to earn money. So what could affect that? Say if you have a critical illness, right? Critical illness and you own 5 pieces of property. You have some income property, you have a couple of houses and you're renting them all out. If you get critically ill and not able to earn income, what are you gonna do? Well, we're here to tell you that you need to learn the principle of OPM. Anybody know what that is?
Other people's
Other
money.
people's money.
Exactly. Okay. If you don't know this principle, you will never be wealthy. So OPM is a principle that you must know about because wealthy people never liquidate their assets because of a life event. So protect your income and your family. Let's go next. All righty. So once you got those things in place, then it's time for you to grow your money. So where are you going to grow your money, right? People have all kinds of ideas. They have, okay, I'm going to buy some stock, you know, Robinhood's really easy to get into, you know, but there's some issues with that type of thing. It's okay to diversify, but you have to know that when you put your money in different places, there's certain things. And then you have to also know that when you're accumulating your assets, there are some enemies you got to look out for. Let's go next. All righty. There are 3 very prominent enemies out there that will gobble up your money as fast as it grows if you don't know they're out there. One of them is inflation. The other one is taxes. And yes, that is your uncle. I know he doesn't look like you, but he is your uncle and he's your silent partner and he's your everything, right? So you better be aware of him. The last area there is risk. All right. So one day you could be riding high and the next day you could lose it all. Let's go next. All righty. So inflation, you guys see the dollar bill right there? Is getting smaller and smaller, isn't it? So I often tell this story that, you know, you better beware of this enemy right here because it used to be when you had a car, you didn't have to worry about gas, but now your gas will be as much as your car note, right? And that's the effects of inflation. So what you should know is that since 1913, inflation has been from 3.25% to 4.5%. So the lesson is you better earn more than that on your money. It's not okay to earn 0.25% in the bank. Let's go next. Guess who has the solution to this? It's the people of the founders of BEE and probably whoever invited you here. Let's go next. Okay, did we go to the next slide?
Janice, is it okay? I think she may have gotten knocked out. Please hold.
Okay. All righty. So I will tell another, okay. So even with that said, back in the day, that first square there said 1984. Well, guess what? In those years, guess how much it cost me to buy groceries in 1 week? It was $40 for a whole week's worth of groceries, right? And that's about right. It says $46 right there, right? So over time, you know, now I stopped counting. It says today, $46. So it's more than doubled, right? The inflation rate. Let's go next. All righty. So in all you're getting, get understanding of this rule of 72. And what that means is that you have to understand that where you put your money to grow it is vitally important to you. It could cost you 8 times the profit that you should have if you don't know this. So you see how across the board, everybody starts off with the same amount. So here's your answer as to why some people are wealthy and other people are not. So you see on the left side, this person is not really informed. They're getting 4%, right? And the one on the right, they started off with the same amount, but they're getting 8 times as much, right? At the age where they're going to need their money the most. So, and all you're getting, know this rule of 72, and that is whatever interest rate you're getting, you can always predict how fast your money will grow. Let's go next. All righty, taxation. So we are all familiar with this. Taxation. So there are 3 different areas that you can choose to pay your taxes, or that actually affects how you pay your taxes. So the first area is if you have your money diversified in CDs, savings, mutual funds, in your bank accounts, and in real estate, the profits that you earn in that area they are taxed every single year. So guess what? Don't put all your money in the same basket, right? So you see right there that that electric boat or the squiggly line just means you get taxed every year. Tax, tax, tax over and over and over. So when you put your money there, that's what's happening to it. All right, the second area is that when you're earning in a deferred comp plan, that's called a 401k, a 403b, a 457, right? All those different wonderful plans, TSP. When you put your money there, it's not taxed. You get a little bit of benefit. So pretend I have seeds in my hand. So I have seeds, I plant them in the ground, and I get a huge apple tree. So the question is, would you rather pay taxes on those seeds or the huge apple tree? And then you guys, that is so silly. That's what you're saying. Of course I want to pay it on the seeds. Well, why do people do this every day in these plans, right? There's also rules that go along with it. So you got to make sure that you see the little ball at the bottom. Are you going to pay taxes on that, or the big pie that has a slice out of it where your silent partner is going to take from Uncle Sam? And the last category is where you put in a little bit. It's opposite. And the taxes have already been taken out, but it grows into a lot, and it is tax-free. We must know about this. This area right here, you know who's capitalized off of this? I mentioned them earlier. That is the Jewish community. They had everything taken from them, and now they have the most money because they know something that we don't know. So they know about the tax advantage products. So there's only a few things that you can put your money in that you will not have to pay taxes when you withdraw it. One of them is a Roth IRA. There's rules that come with that. Believe it or not, some types of life insurance, not all of them. And then the last area is municipal bonds. Now I skip right over to 529 because I've already tried and proved that doesn't work. I think the money I put there, my kids were able to pay for their parking sticker and lunch. That was it. But it did not pay for any of their college education. So cash, the life insurance part, I have that. It is an amazing vehicle, amazing, that's been used by the wealthy for years. So we advocate that you do the 1/3 rule. And that is you put 1/3 in the first category. That's the money where you can get at. That's your emergency fund. The second one is if your company is matching you, we do say you should put money there, right? And the third category, I am retired. Being in this industry retired me. So what you must know is during retirement, you still pay a lot of taxes. So everybody needs tax-free income. Let's go next. All right, so the risk market. This is a wonderful thrill ride. I love, love, love roller coasters. I love them, right? So what it's just showing you though, when you have your money riding on a roller coaster, why do you do that? What is going on with you? You want your whole life savings just kind of riding along? So, and this is talking about market risk. You must know about that. So when your money is going up and down in the risk market, so say for instance, hypothetically, you gain 100% and then you lose 50%. So guess what? In order for you to come back where you were before, you must come back 100%. So effectively, you have a rate of return of negative 25%. If you just go down 50 and you gain 50, or you gain 50 and you lose 50, then your rate of return is minus 25%. So now anybody going in with their eyes wide open would know that that's not what they want to do. And on the right there, you can see that with all the ups and downs, the best you can do a lot of times is to wind up where you were before. So we want to make sure that we're informed, right, when we go forth. So loss does hurt when you're in the risk market. Let's go next. So what's the solution to this? So this is what actually brought me to the table. How do you control the risk, right? How do you control it? So let's look and see what's happened throughout history. So it goes up and it goes down. Let's go to the next. I have some highlighted areas here. So you see how we have all these valleys here. What protects you from having these valleys? So in recent history, we had those couple of stock market crashes in a 10-year period. And as we went on, we had these other lows and then highs. Since 2008 to about 2020, until the pandemic hit, we had a over 400% increase in the market, right? So we had a huge dip. Guess what, guys? We were able to rescue a lot of people that fell into that hole there. We're back a little bit, but what do you guys predict is going to happen next? And do you want all your money riding in that hole right there? So let's go next. So here is the solution that we want you to know about it. And this is how you control the risk. So it's called an index strategy. We will tell you more about that, but it's called an index strategy. And what it does is it protects your monies from loss, right? You benefit from the gain and you are protected from loss. So we can advance through. This was me on the blue line. I rode this roller coaster up and down. And in the end, I lost over $100,000, right? So who wants to be me on the blue line? Okay, no hands up. All right. So if you are informed today, you can be on the orange line, like my friend Vina right there. Vina came in and she was already riding high, so she got on that orange line right there. And the orange line says, I'm going to utilize this index strategy to where when the market falls, I don't participate. But when it comes back, I'm ahead of you, Anita. Let's go one more. And it's just follow it all the way through. So you see Vina, the orange line in the end, she's way far ahead of me. This is what happens when you learn that this strategy is out there. It's called the index strategy. Let's go next. It can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands, whatever you want to call it. So guess what? The people that invited you here today, they know somebody who knows somebody how to introduce you to these wealth building resources. So these are the places where we're telling you, you need to be in this industry in order to participate in the wealth and in the knowledge and to preserve your legacy. Let's go next. All righty. One of my favorite parts is this preserve your legacy. Let's go. All right, it's preserve your legacy. This is what you worked your whole life for. How about you work your whole life and then everything you had, it ends with you. It just goes right down the drain. No, that's not why we do what we do. We want to pass along a legacy. And one of the ways we're going to show you guys is we have this calculator that is pure heaven. It's going to show you how you can generate wealth for yourself and make sure it goes down to the next generation. All righty. Is Miss Nicole on? Nicole Hartman, my fellow.
Yes, I am. I'm right here, Miss Anita.
Okay, all righty. Miss Nicole, let's go. So I'm handing the baton off. We always kind of say one
Awesome.
to the next.
Yes. So I'll have to say that information about Black Wall Street was amazing. Heard about it, but never knew to this extent how much we had. And so part of the legacy building is to share with you how, through what I'm going to show you, we can get that Black Wall Street back. Maybe not for our generation, but definitely for our children and for our grandkids and for their children. I looked up the definition of legacy building, wealth building, and what it said is that it's easy to do when you have money. It's easy to do because all you're doing is taking your assets and your cash that you don't intend to use for retirement, and you are paying it forward. And so the problem with that, if we're not in a position to save for ourselves today, then it's very hard for us to save for the future. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share my calculator. Oh, here we go. And I hope everybody can see it. So I'm going to use the example of a milestone. For those of you who are on here, you may have children, you may have grandkids. But when that person that you love, that you have seen grow, hits a major milestone in their life, what do? We spend money. We give them something like a car. When I graduated from college, my parents bought me a brand new car. I got a Honda Civic right off the lot and they paid cash for it. But imagine if they had, instead of buying me a car, at least a brand new car, put that money in a vehicle
to generate generational wealth for myself and for my children. So imagine today you have 20,000 in lump sum money. So we're going to go ahead and here in this calculator, I'm going to put in 20,000. We're going to say that this money is going to earn compound interest in that tax never vehicle that Miss Anita just shared with us. So we're going to put 8%. And because we are building generational wealth, we're going to let this money sit for a really long time, for about 45 years. And while that money is growing, we're going to contribute $100 a month. Dun, 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 drum roll. How much money will you have? $1.2 million. Matter of fact, $1,254,242. That's a lot of money. But guess what? It doesn't stop there. This is second generation. So what does the second generation do? They keep half the money for themselves. They can do whatever they want to. They can buy land. They can start businesses. They can build insurance. They can do whatever. They have the resources now to do it and to provide education for their family. So what they're going to do is keep half of that, but then they're going to reinvest. So instead of investing 20,000, half of 1.2 million is $627.21. Now, because of inflation, they're not going to just put $100 in here. They're going to put 200. So let's see what this looks like for the third generation. $23 million, 740, 893. But guess what? It doesn't stop. See, this is called perpetual wealth building. Anita talked about Jewish families. Jewish families, every time a child is born, they put a plan like this in place. That child grows old, gets 80 years old, dies. Guess what? His 60-year-old son just became a multimillionaire. Now that the whole family has changed. We changed the entire trajectory of our family just by doing this one simple act. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take half of this, because guess what? That family now gets to live off of $11 million. They're not broke. So guess what they can afford to do? Take half of that money, $11,870.44. And guess what? Instead of putting in $200, because of inflation, they're going to put in $300. They just created $430 million. Is that ridiculous? But here's the thing, you might be thinking to yourself, well, what if I don't have 20,000 to start with? What if you don't have it? It's okay. I'm going to show you now, what does it look like? Let's start all over. If you only start with 10,000, how do you build generational wealth with just $10,000 seed money? And if you think that's a lot of money, guess what? We spend more than that on the vehicles we drive. Can you sacrifice and say, I'm gonna pay myself first for 12 months and save $10,000 so that I can create a legacy for my children and for my next generation? So let's do this with 10,000. With 10,000, you're gonna have $892,000. You may not think that's a lot of money, but let me tell you, when you see the final output, you're going to be like, it's worth that $10,000 investment. So we're going to take half of that for the second generation. Half of that is $44,603. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to say, instead of $100, because of inflation, we're going to do $200. That means that when this second generation collects, they're going to collect $17 million. Remember, this only started off of a $10,000 seed investment in yourself. So now the third generation is going to say, you know, we're going to live off of half of this, and I'm going to reinvest the other half. So when I reinvest half of 17,000, that is $8,692. And instead of putting in 200, we're going to put in 300. So even with only starting with a $10,000 investment, third generation, 312. So I'm going to stop sharing, but I want to show you guys what that looks like in my PowerPoint, because I think when you see it side by side, it's just very, over the top. I can't even begin to explain to you. So this one was generation one. Parent gives 20,000 lump sum, $100 a month, 45 years, earning 8% return, 1.2. Second generation. So imagine this is your grandson who's 8. And now that 8-year-old, here we are 45 years later, is only what, 53 years old. At 53, they have access to over $500,000. And then your grandson, your great grandson now, who is third generation, now has access to 11.8. Amazing. And then this is the comparison using just $10,000 lump sum money. Amazing. So this is what I wanted to show you, that legacy building doesn't have to be difficult. It really is about making a choice, making a decision, making a sacrifice today so that your future generations have a financial future. Just in case you didn't know, and according to Black Enterprise magazine, Black Americans in America will be worth zero in 2053. If you didn't know, our net worth will be zero. So how do you protect our net worth? You have to pay it forward. And that's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anita. Thank you so much, Nicole. As you can see, you know, when Anita said, you guys, power is us coming together. That's what it's all about. That's what the B movement is about, you guys, us coming together to help our community. You guys, power is in ownership. Ownership in real estate, of course. Ownership in being your own, your own business owner, entrepreneurship, of course. And you guys, ownership in your finances. You need to know about money. Nicole, that was amazing. Amazing. We always talk about generational wealth. It's time to stop talking, Helena SD. Sorry, Helena, and start doing it. Start doing it. So you guys, please, everybody register go to join themovement.com. Make sure you register. We will send you all 4 sessions by the email, okay? You will also be getting a survey, okay? Please fill out the survey. There will be a raffle with a very nice prize, but the survey is required. I kind of like added that on today, okay? And you guys, on the survey, let us know, what do you want to hear about? You guys, we are your resource. We are here to make a change. As Anita said, you guys, if you want to make a change, you must be in the industry. That's why I will say this, you guys. I am a part of NARAB, you know, the African American Real Estate Association, because you guys, their mission for Black home ownership, everything. You guys, we're the same way when it comes to your money. We need to come together, you guys, and we need to have more of us, people that look like us in the financial industry, you guys. If you're going to make a change in the industry, you must be in the industry. You get the guys, be the movement, be in the industry. So you guys, please join us. Whoever invites you guys, please contact them. They know one of the founders, okay? We will sit down with you guys and put a plan together to help you and your family create what Nicole just showed you. There is no reason why anybody on this call should not be doing that. Every one of us, you guys, can start in our family to start that generational wealth. Let's stop talking about it and be about it. So once again, special thanks to all of our founders: Helena J Conley, Jill Johnson, Lisa McCombs, Anita Ferns. Oh my God, amazing, Anita. Thank you so much. So much. Thank you to our sponsors, ARPB, Women's Council, Association of Real Estate Property Brokers, Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce, Small Business Development Center. If you want to be one of our sponsors, please contact one of the founders. You guys, we need to do this big. We need organizations behind us, right? You guys, we need to do this big. It starts here with us. And everybody here, you guys, you're our family. From this day forward, you are our family. So you guys, please follow us. You guys will see us on social media. We will have our own YouTube coming out. But you guys, every quarter, we will bring you guys resources. So on the survey, let us know, what do you want to hear about? And if you guys want to join our movement, you guys, and be part of the B movement, please let us know. We welcome you. We welcome you. Once again, you guys, we have to be in this industry making the change. So before I go, do any of the founders who have any closing words for us?
I'm excited. That's it. I'm super excited. I'm just getting all the text messages, seeing all the chat. You guys, this was something that we did not even expect would go where it's going. But when you, in my belief, when you put something into the atmosphere,
yes,
the universe, God, however you call it, it absolutely will grow itself. And these ladies that we have partnered with is just, it's so much in store for you guys. It's so much in store, and we're very, very excited to bring you this and continue to grow, because that 2053 number is not going to happen.
Right.
Not going to happen. So I want to thank my co-founders with this movement, because you guys have totally opened my brain to a whole nother level. And I've been re-recruited into the movement myself just by seeing all of what is done for you, everyone who's been on here for the last 4 sessions. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Lisa?
I am so moved. My heart is so filled. It's one thing to be on the floor of preparation, and another thing to actually see the development of the finished product. And I feel that it's really not finished because we're on a crusade. This is definitely a place in which we're going to be fostering, coming together. I feel that everybody on here has received great value. And you're going to spread the word and make sure that you tell others, so many others, because I'm sure while you were listening to this, you were thinking, oh my gosh, I wish so-and-so was here. Oh, I wish I would have invited this person and that person. So the next time, make sure that you invite all of the other people that you thought about that should have heard this message. And if you did not hear all of the other messages from this past Tuesday and from last Tuesday and Thursday, you want to make sure that you email us so you can get the video. It's just powerful. So I salute each of my sisters. They helped to brainstorm and put it together. And I salute each and every one of you that are here today, pursuing and endeavoring to receive this information. I salute each and every one of you. Blessings and
Thank
abundance.
you. And Anita, I'm going to end with you. I think that Jill had to get off, so I'm going to end with you, Miss Anita Ferns.
They said it all. I appreciate everybody. B is the way to go. Black economic empowerment. My mom was sitting by listening, just cheering me on. But she is from, that's her home state. And I'm just so proud and grateful to be able to represent and to also learn from that and go to the next level. And it should inspire us, empower us, embolden us to move forward and to do great things in our lifetime. I heard somebody say it's maybe too late for us. No, it's not. You know what I mean? It's we can do it for us and the next generation.
That's right. That's right.
It's all about home ownership. It's all about businesses. It's all about us coming together, entrepreneurship. Your kid has a dream in their heart. Don't snuff it out.
That's right.
They're coming up because that's part of their history and their roots. Their ancestors are rising up because they did have that part of their history. And you may wonder what's wrong with these millennials. That's what's wrong with them. They know what we're doing is not right. You know what I mean? So they need the entrepreneurship. So let's let them out. You know, let's support them. And guess what? We bought the guy that's going to bring you the funds, right? If you guys weren't
That's
on,
right.
you got to ask somebody. So we're really excited and there's more to come. Thank you guys for this, sharing with us this evening.
Thank you guys so much. You guys join themovement.com. Please register. We will get everything out to you guys. And you guys invite people that you know to register as well. Okay. We'll get the information as well. Thank you, Lisa, for that. Please, you guys refer other people. Please have them try to sign up at least by tomorrow. We'll get a master list and we will see you guys out everything that we have done today, you guys, plus the survey. Do not forget the survey, and we will let you guys know the winner of the raffle. Okay? Thank you guys all. You guys, please stay safe out there, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. Picture time. Who's my picture person? Dr. Roche, is Dr. Roche on? Helena, thank you.
Yeah, I could take it. All right, smile. All right, I got it.
You got everybody?
Well, I did the other ones that weren't showing their face before in advance.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you guys. You guys stay safe, please. Bye, everybody.
God bless be the movement.
God bless.
Yes, we can.
God bless you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. Awesome. Hey, Dr. Hathaway. Awesome.
Have a good weekend. God bless you all.
My song.
My granddaughter, my cousin.
That's for you,
My
Juavette.
niece.
Thank you.
Hi, Debbie.
We are the people, you guys. Hey, Sharon. Hi, Valencia. Nice to see you. I know we can do it, Lisa. Bye, everybody.
Lovely nights. Goodbye.